Welcome to Bhagwan Ki Baatein, the YouTube channel where we talk only and only about God. In the ongoing series, Stories of Great Saints, we are narrating episodes from the life of the great Bhakt Narsi Mehta. In the previous capsule, we learnt about how a Brahmin called Keshav Bhatt came to Narsi Mehta and being scared of the robbers on the way while he was traveling, he deposited 700 rupees with Narsi Mehta. And in return, Narsi Mehta wrote a check in the name of the Lord. Can you believe? While he distributed those 700 rupees amongst the Brahmins and Sadhus. Let's see what happens after a lot of suspicions and a lot of doubts. The Brahmin travels to Dwarika. Let's see what happens next. So, comforting himself in that way, the Brahmin came to Dwarika. After bathing in the Gomati, he went to see and worship Sri Krishna. Worshipping the feet of Sri Krishna, he stood with the hands joined palm to palm with love and complete reverence. He praised Hari. He said, "Victory, victory to the husband of Rukmani, brother of the lowly Lord Ranchor." Those were the names. Helper of the helpless, merciful one, remove my concern. Having spoken these pity-arousing words, he prostrated himself before the god. The Brahmin then sought information from the priest. He said, "Show me the house of merchant Savalisa. That name is written upon the check which I hold." Hearing him say this, all the people replied, "We've never heard of a merchant by the name of Savalisa, nor have we seen anyone of that name, nor could we do so if we hunted throughout the city of Dwarika. Narsi Mehta has given you a check that is valueless. In giving your money to him, you did not properly consider the question. One should carry on business looking to profit, and one should give only to those worthy of it. One should go as a suppliant to one's guru and ask him for the needs of one's soul. When one sees a Vaishnava, one should with reverence make a prostrate namaskar to him, but one should not transact worldly business with him. One should give food and garments with reverence to God's bhakta, but one should never carry on business of buying and selling with them. They make like themselves anyone who associates with them. When a river meets with the ocean, it becomes a part of the ocean without effort. When iron touches the touchstone, all its darkness flies away. So when one associates with the saint, worldly business comes to a knot. When a little streamlet joins the Ganges, it takes but a moment to change its name and form. So by one's association with a sadhu, business abilities no longer remain with him. Such being our custom from the elders, you've carried on business with the Vaishnava. So now, O noble Brahmin, where will you hunt for that merchant Savalisa?" Hearing these words of the priest, the Brahmin became deeply concerned. Then, bowing to God, the Brahmin departed. Returning to his lodging, the mind of the Brahmin continued greatly disturbed. He said to himself, "Narsi Mehta distributed the money at once. Abandoning all illusion regarding the money, let me go as a suppliant to the king of Vaikunt." Thus remarking, the Brahmin sat down in the square. Just then God Supreme, the husband of Rukmani, assumed the form of a merchant, bringing Udhav and Akrur. He drove along his chariot. The life of the world, sitting in his chariot, said to Daruk, his charioteer, "Narsi Mehta has sent a check with our name written upon it. In order that I may accomplish his purpose, I have become today Savalisa the merchant. I have changed my four-armed form, and I am going instead in the form of a man." Udhav then said to him, "O life of the world, even the Vedas do not know the limits of your power. You, O Narayan, do assume an infinite number of forms in order to carry out purposes of your bhaktas." Nara said to him, "You act like a skilled actor in a drama. You put hindrances in the way of your bhaktas. Then assuming a form with qualities, you, O Hari, do rush to their help. Just as a mother tells a child about the goblin when one is not really there. And when the child cries out with fear, she comforts in love. Conversing in this way, his bhaktas Govind came along. Such is the advocate of bhaktas, one praised in the universe and who is unfathomable. Its deeds cannot be understood. With his divine ornaments, garments and adornments, beautiful in form, he appeared with qualities. The life of the world hastily drove along the royal highway. As the chariot was moving steadily along, he said to his charioteer, Daruk, a Brahmin is seated in the square, who's full of concern. Take me at once where he is. Having given this order, the husband of Rukmani and his chariot moved swiftly along. And as the people lovingly saw this form with qualities, all wondered. As the Lord of the world approached, he saw there the Brahmin, the husband of Rukmani, asked him, "Why are you thus concerned?" At the question, the dweller in Vaikunt, the Brahmin felt astonished. With his reverence, he bowed down to him and gave him the reasons for his concern. There is a Vaishnav Bhakta in Junagadh by the name of Narsi Mehta. His agent Savalsa is here at Dwarika. Because I cannot find him, I am very much troubled. Hearing him say this, the Lord of the world spoke to the Brahmin. At this, the husband of Rukmani laughed and said, "They call me Savalsa. What is the order which Narsi Mehta has given to me?" And as the life of the world said these things, the Brahmin was much comforted. Just as when during a drought, a cloud pours down the rain, the grass on the mountainside is made happy. Or as the God's loving bhaktas hearing at the kirtan, the praising of the Hari are comforted thereby. Or when a person repentant of his sins sees a sacred bathing place, then his mind experiences comfort. Or as when listening to the reading of the Bhagavad, Vaishnav Bhakts become full of joy. Or as when suffering from the thirst, one sees water and he feels a sense of joy. Or as when a seeker after spiritual things finds himself in association with the saint, and through connection with him he feels satisfaction. Or when one who has a request to make and sees a generous giver, he is delighted in his heart. In the same way, the Brahmin, hearing what the merchant said, was greatly pleased. He at once took out the letter and placed it in Krishna's hand. After looking over the letter, he lovingly bowed to it with his hand. He whom the Vedas and Shastras praise, but whose extraordinary deeds they are unable to describe, this God's supreme husband of Rukmani became thus subservient to his bhakta. As the life of the world read the letter, he spoke with smile on his face. The Lord of Vaikunt said to Uddhav, "Narsi Mehta, the God-loving bhakta, although living in the midst of domestic matters, is one indifferent to all earthly things. He has sent me a small check to be cashed." Saying this, he took out 700 rupees. The husband of Rukmani gave this to the Brahmin. As the Brahmin saw the money, he was much comforted. Astonished, however, in his mind, he answered in a humble voice, "You seem to be a very wealthy merchant, but Narsi Mehta seems to be a very poor person. A rich servant with a helpless lord seems to me to be very strange. I have never seen the charioteer of the sun more brilliant than the sun itself. The Puranas never speak of a streamlet running through a village as superior to the Ganges. I have never seen in the world a minister greater than the king. I have never heard any monkey was greater than Sri Ram himself. Who is there greater than the Lord of Kailash or the husband of Parvati? One has never seen or heard of a river of greater importance than the ocean. I have never heard of a Siddhi greater than Lakshmi. There are no stars more brilliant than the moon. I have never seen a little diamond more brilliant than a large diamond. I have never heard of anyone learned in the Vedanta who was greater than that of the Siddhanta, the established facts itself. Now today I see with my eyes what seems topsy-turvy. Therefore I ask you to explain it." Hearing what the Brahmin said, Krishna began to speak. And with these words, we'll mark the end of this capsule. We'll come back to you in the next capsule on what does Krishna say, how does Krishna answer to the astonishment of the Brahmin. Until then, goodbye, good luck, and sadhana.